Okay, so let's get into nobody's favorite segment, and it is called Sicko segment. So this gentleman here, Bizarro Babyface, triggered a bunch of wrestlers. Okay, now we have to go back in time a little bit. What did he say here? We have to go back. He got mad because there was a Becca match added. Oh, he says, I was pretty excited by the roster Richard Holiday was putting together for a show. Bunch of guys 6 foot plus who look like they can hurt people. That's exactly what I've been begging for. And then, of course, he had to add a ladies match. Can a single show on earth be free of this? So this guy really doesn't like women's wrestling. And a bunch of wrestlers responded. Right? And the match he's talking about was Deonna Purrazzo, which... Again, I'm not taking a shot at her, but it's kind of funny that she was, hey, keep up with what I'm doing, and I'm on ROH, and I'm doing this and that, and then all of a sudden she's in an indie match against Becca. But shut up, Becca, goddammit. She's getting the big names. And speaking of ROH, Becca was on ROH. Amazing. That's, I believe, because of the PWT universe. And also Spotify's around. And her album was pulled down or something. And this is why she had some remixes of On Becca on God that had to be pulled off YouTube as well. We will not stand for this, PWT universe. But Big Trouble Ben Bishop, though, guest of the PWT universe, friend of the show, pal of mine, I suppose, right? And I had a blast with him on PWT podcast. He says, it shouldn't matter, but regardless, they are two of the best women's wrestlers currently available on the indies. Both amazing in the ring, very entertaining. This isn't white knighting either. Becca or Purrazzo belong on any show. I would watch their matches over any male wrestlers any day of the week. So I gotta be honest, if Becca versus Purrazzo's on a show, I talk about that, on this show. You know what I'm saying? Those are two ladies that I've put over a bunch of times. So yeah. And again, was this show, this is what I didn't understand when I first was reading this. Is this show billed as an all-male show and then they put a women's show on? Why would you even care? But yeah, this dude's when are you getting booked for WoW? Why is it okay for women to have their own promotions? Because it's 2025. But me hoping for a single show with just big guys is wrong. Yeah, that's true. It's not wrong if that's what you hope for. This show doesn't even exist. Evolve and WoW actually exist. So we don't really want equality, do we? And then Big Trouble's Evolve has men and women. I think he meant Evolution. WoW as its own separate thing, and the women on that show have totally different gimmicks than they normally do. Yeah, it's weird too, because WoW is its own separate universe at the same time. So it is interesting. Women-only promotions exist because of a few reasons, but mainly so that more women can be featured. Hey, I mean, you guys know me. I'm doing all women's WWE show. If that triggers people, they'll be talking about it. So, but yeah, this guy's sorry, I meant Evolution, not Evolve. So yeah, guys, basically, this is to kick things off. Bishop's this is what I bookmarked, and then I went down the inception hole, but this is what his initial comment that got me into this story was. He says, all right, I tried to be non-combative and have a convo, but since you want to mock me, you're a misogynistic clown who thinks because you have an internet connection, people give a shit what you say. You sit behind an anonymous profile so no one will know who you are, so you cowardly spew some way ahead of you. By the way, unfollow me as well. Damn. But yeah, ultimately, this Evolution 2 show has everyone hot and bothered. And people are crying about it. And I don't know. I think that it's sort of being presented, and women's wrestling is being presented as an attraction when it's its own show. And I think you can look to NXT and see that in the next decade or two, it will be primarily, you already see it on Raw and SmackDown. Some of the shows are 60% women, 40% guys. So already on SmackDown and shit. So I think in the future, it'll be more women that more people are into watching. And some people might go, nah, Phil, you're off. It'll always be guys. But I don't know. Look at NXT. If that's an indication of what the future looks like, now things change. And I do think at the highest level, there's always going to be the need. There's a reason in the UFC, the heavyweight title is the most prestigious, right? In any combat sport. There's a reason for that. But at the same token, it's already at a place where unless all the male stars are on every single show, which they're not, most of the show's women, or at least half it. So I don't know. Everyone's hot and bothered over Evolution is why we covered that. And you guys will see what I'm talking about. Somebody hating on Blake Monroe, Mariah May. What else is new? Women haters here on this fucking app. And Dr. Evil 3000 says there's only like 20 people there. You could kiss all of them. And this is Blake Monroe made her NXT debut at a house show. And they're doing lots of house shows. So there she is. And she posted a picture. I'm back. Thank you, Fort Pierce, for the warm welcome. I would kiss every one of you if I could. And it's awesome. They just do these gymnasium shows untelevised. And you give these wrestlers, like, this is what it's like working the fucking indies, pal. And so this guy's like, there's 20 people there. You could kiss all of them. And Blake Monroe goes 750 plus, actually, a new record for that venue. Fort Pierce knows what's good. So yeah, just boom roasted his ass. In a happy. So in the Sickos and Wackos segments, I've also been trying to put funny, fun stuff and stuff that warms your heart as well, because the biggest fans are kids. When you're a kid, you know, it makes you feel like a kid again, pal. That's what the moments you enjoy in wrestling. And here's Bret Hart asking a young kid for his autograph, like a fucking true legend of the game. And let's take a look at this.
I got something to sign for you.
That's for him to sign for you, Bret. He's a professional wrestler.
You gotta sign that. You gotta sign it in white.
Okay.
Because where's the white pen?
All right, you sign it.
It'll show up better in white.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So what a legend. This kid came dressed like in his pro wrestling gear. You know what I mean? And then Bret Hart's like, give me your autograph, kid. What an absolute brilliant. I love this.
Wow. That is something else.
Can you tell him your wrestling name?
I'm going to keep this, and then someday when you're famous, I'm going to go, I got his first autograph. I got his autograph when he was just a little kid.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Can you tell him your wrestling name?
American Warriors.
The American Warrior. Maybe someday you'll tag up with the Canadian Warrior.
Ooh, that would be cool. Want to sit there to take a
Take
picture?
on the Russians.
Then you guys will take out the Russians. Fuck, what a legend. Moving along here. So, what else do we have? Thirsty Thurston. He melts down and writes this fucking article about Punk. New, an inspiring moment of self-realization in the kingdom of Saudi Arabia as CM Punk courageously aligns himself with a visionary government that criminalizes being gay and occasionally deletes its critics. What a complete clown. And then look at all the usual suspect goofs. Suit Williams. Phenomenal stuff from Brandon here. This guy. Fire. Writing fire. Trevor Dame. The tone of this quality column in one Simpsons clip. God, get personalities. Jesus Christ. Oh, you Simpsons clips. BJ Bethel. Genius column by Brandon Thurston. Wrestling column story of the year. Bunch of fucking clowns, man. These guys are legit a bunch of... You what? Okay, moving along here. So this NoDQ.com. This is from NoDQ.com. And it's this whole thing reported by Fightful that I guess Harley Cameron has signed an extension until 2029 with All Elite Wrestling. Reports are she's getting a nice raise. The future is bright for Harley. And then NoDQ.com. Like, this is a NoDQ.com writer. They're all restarts, man. And this guy goes, E-Drones and Triple H are in absolute shambles over this, and I love it. She sees how Mariah's career is circling the toilet since joining NXT. It's been 3 weeks and wants no part of that. One more for the good guys. So this person says, I'm completely out of the loop on this one. What is Gabe and Mariah beef? So Gabe Kidd. Yeah, I'm out of the loop too. I don't even remember. So Mariah accused Sid Scala during Speaking Out movement, and Gabe went on podcasts and tweeted out some stuff calling her a liar. I believe her Speaking Out message is still on her page if you want to go see the specifics of the accusation. Oh my God. So Mariah May accused a dude in the Speaking Out, and then Gabe Kidd trashed her, bruv. Wow, I don't even remember bookmarking this. So what the fuck? So Gabriel Kidd on Twitter. So this person here says, Gabe Kidd is human garbage. I hope he's not on FD. Here's what this lovely lad said about Mariah May telling her story about his abuser friend, Sid Scala. So Gabriel Kidd says, You don't know her, you stupid twat. She has ruined people's lives. That's not my story to tell or yours, so stop acting like a fucking victim. When you don't know these people, you're not listening. Damn, man. Has she ruined people's lives? I'm sure Brandon Thurston will have an article about how Gabe Kidd aligned with people who don't believe women in 2025. Yeah, I don't know, man. Gabe Kidd, he's fallen off so hard. Even New Japan fans are like, yeah, fuck this guy. He went to AEW. That's like the worst thing he could have done. Okay, look what y'all did to this woman. So this gentleman here, Wrestling Vice, says only the IWC will try to cancel someone for not liking a movie. Yeah, the IWC Sickos went at Indi Hartwell, and we covered it on the show. But they went at her because she's like, I don't like Sinners, the movie Sinners. And it's like, who gives a fuck, man? People are so dumb. We hate you now because you didn't like this movie about vampires. It's like, what if I don't like vampires? Fuck, people are way too kooky.
I'm really scared of people picking things apart or people finding something wrong with what I say or what I do, which I know that's not a good way to feel or a good way to be, but it's just something that has been like on my mind recently. Yeah, I just feel like people really like want to find something wrong with anything.
That's what it is, man. And they want to fucking try and instead of making a goof or making a laugh and going, hey, this is dumb, let's all laugh at this. Or, hey, what about this? Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, what a discussion. Here's what they could do better. Oh, man, this is cooking. Yo, I don't get this shit was flame. Fuck you. I'm with Cena. Whatever. Instead of doing that, having fun, basically, I'm describing PWT. It's a bunch of mentally ill people on X going, we need to try and ruin and delete people off the earth because they don't fucking like a movie that I like, or like other reasons that are just menial, trivial bullshit. And it's so stupid. People act like they're perfect or like their way of thinking is the only way. That is super fucking crazy. It's just crazy, man. It's entitled. That's all it is.
So it's making me want to not record things, or it's making me like scared to record things or scared to say things because I don't want people to take something and then take it out of context and spin it into something that it's not. So that is something that I am currently dealing with. I'm really...
Yeah, all because she said she didn't like Sinners. So this person here had a sign at Raw that said, Becky Lynch smells like Seth Rollins' nutsack. And then Stephanie Hype says, like, he actually took a marker and took his time to write something about someone else's ball sack. Okay. Well, like, what? Are you trying to say he's gay or something? Because that's what I mean, too. Everyone wants to go like, oh, what? Is it because, like, what? You suck balls? Because, you know? But yeah, it's a funny joke. So this guy here says, holy cow, this stuff is difficult to understand. Ricochet and AR Fox, a feud that might work, take on Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey. Fun match, but no substance. Then the WWE guys, MJF with Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, MVP promo, man, tell these guys it's not 2001. So then Benjamin responds and goes, small suggestion to improve your constant complaining. Learn how to use the word former. It means the same in 2025 as it did in 01. FYI, we're still AEW guys. Stop living in the past. Damn. So just like, why is Shelton Benjamin now responding to awful and responding to fucking all these different folk now? Speaking of responses, Alfred Konuwa has not stopped throwing barbs at Ricochet since their little feud broke down, and I got caught up in the crosshairs as well in that. But Alfred Konuwa, friend of the show, yeah, he says, let's have a great summer, everybody, and it's him versus Ricochet in an anime battle fight.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Kick, flick, show what it is.
So they're just having a straight anime fight. Anime Sicko Wars. Holy shit. So Dan Barry says, dear wrestling fans, many of your favorite wrestlers have had a great time wrestling matches without bumping. In fact, sometimes they compete to see who could bump the least on a show. I've seen with my own two eyes a no bump ladder match. It remains a highlight. Exactly. That's like the point of wrestling right there. And so many people don't understand that. or appreciate that. Cassidy Haynes of Body Slam says, imagine that PWI lifted our Chad Gable report from bodyslam.net we had a couple days ago, posted it themselves today as their own report, and didn't credit us. Shocking. This is the norm for them. Yeah, what's shocking is that me and fucking Husey don't get no love. No.
Allegedly.
Me and Husey don't get no love, dude. What the fuck? But yeah, man, I guess they're lifting each other. The PWI special, they're calling it. Yeah, a lot of people fucking have stuff to say, I guess, about PWI. All I know is just Mike Johnson flipped out on me for making a fucking joke once, and then he blocked me. So it was like, okay, I guess fuck you. But yeah, I guess they're lifting stories now, allegedly, right? So again, people trying to control other people here on this fucking dumb app. And this person here says, I forgot I responded to this. So this person here, Gail Kim, why do you follow her? Riley Gaines. So Riley Gaines, that athlete who spoke out about trans athletes or whatever. Gail Kim is like, if you're asking why I follow someone because of their political views, just stop. I follow people of all types, whether I agree with their views or not. I don't have to explain why I follow each and every person. Exactly. How about fuck you, don't be a pussy? How about you're a pussy and you're that person who doesn't realize how to operate on social media or in society. You think you can control people and who they follow. Who gives a fuck? Riley Gaines is like a super famous person for whatever happened with whatever all that shit she was in the news for and everything. And all the stuff she stood up for that a lot of, like, the majority of women are behind, by the way. Okay. Clearly, as you can see by the way culture's shifting again. So it's like, fuck, man, people are so mentally ill. They got to control who Gail Kim follows. Oh, don't follow this. I've had people do that to me too. You guys wouldn't even imagine. Like, oh, well, you follow this person and they said this about me. Well, okay, I don't control what they say, bro. They post funny memes sometimes. Sorry, I follow Heel Uzi. Sorry, Kylie Ray follows Heel Uzi. You guys want to control her life? Fucking so goobery and weird. Why do you care? Exactly. And like, some people like to barb on Twitter. Do you follow people you don't like and then barb with them? People do that too. But yeah, this person's like, following from one post you saw from her when her whole personality is trashing on trans people. Sure, you may not have the same political views, but I wanted to ask you why you follow certain people, because I ain't taking a chance on supporting a wrestler who may be transphobic. Okay, shut the fuck up. I said, I don't even remember writing this. Imagine being such an entitled dickhead. You think you can control who people follow. Talk to your parents and get a hug. Yeah, it's really all it is, man. Like, your parents fucked up somewhere. And then she's just like, well, then goodbye. Yeah, I'm going to like that. Exactly. That's how you just peace out, man. Go get a hug and peace. So Rhea Ripley, or as Chris Connors calls her, Rhea Ripley, talks about an incident she had with a fan back in February. Disgusting behavior from this fucking fan. God damn it. Sickos doing too much.
Did it really get to the point with fans where you had to publicly say, like, stop sending stuff to our house?
So it wasn't sending stuff. Someone actually came to my house.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So yeah. It was the last Valentine's Day. So like this year. And we had left for Australia because we had obviously his show, and then we're gonna continue with our honeymoon afterwards because we've been married for a year this coming Monday. So like,
and you told him don't get injured in the match.
I told him not to get injured. And he goes,
yeah, and you know what's crazy? Buddy Matthews is still injured from that fucking janky ring. Isn't that crazy? As Awful would put it, that janky fucking ring. He rolled his ankle on that shit, and it's not recovering properly. Craziness.
Exactly. He goes, well, the bell didn't ring yet. Like, you little shit. Loopholes. Like, can't you just jump off the corner like a normal human? Like, please, why do you have to roll your ankle and like break everything?
And then he still wrestled.
He still wrestled.
What a beast.
And he still walked and he still did everything.
I think we covered this a while ago. Is this not? I swear we talked about this all on the show. But yeah, just sicko stalker behavior. I'm like 99% sure we had covered that clip. Yeah, we have some sicko saying, I hope Iran fires a missile and it blows up the building, deleting both these dudes, taking up Roman's spotlight in Minecraft, I guess I'll say, because what the fuck. So Brandon Thurston gets cooked by Fight Oracle. Fightful Wrestling reports that Tony Khan would be open to AEW holding state-sponsored events in other countries if the deal is right. And people don't realize Tony Khan would gladly go to Riyadh for Riyadh season. He would gladly do that. He would even pitch it as like, well, the great Antonio Inoki, he held shows in North Korea to try and bring the world together. And I think AEW in Saudi Arabia and doing Wrestle Dream here with Inoki's grandsons will really bring the world together. It's great. That's literally what he'd say, guys. Hope you know that, fucking sickos. Hope you know that I know that is what he would say. Hope y'all understand that. And here's the thing. He, of course, would be in any state if they gave the money. And this also could mean the UK, where any place that wants to pay him to do AEW he'll do it instead of him spending his own money, of course. Just no one's trying to do that right now. And so Thurston's like, a legacy principles like human rights continue to be phased out throughout the global economy in favor of more strategic alternatives. It's important to stay adaptable and remain open to opportunities for spectacle-based propaganda. Fight Oracle says, use trendy buzzwords, try to sound smart. That's you. And then a fucking Simpsons meme, which I'm not going to read. So Rhea Ripley responds to, again, a sicko. So this guy, the Solar Lover, says, the way y'all are acting, that Triple H alone was the reason for Rhea doubting herself, when y'all are the ones who would latch on one clip of 10 minutes a match for weeks, dragging those wrestlers for no reason other than you don't like them. But Rhea just sticking up for Triple H. She's like, he's 100% not to blame. The stupid bully mentality of some people on social media is the blame. Them and the ones that think they can do our jobs better than us, even though they have no experience in this profession or experience in real life. So just defending Triple H. And then we have JD, ladies and gentlemen. Then I'm going to check in with chat. This is a long sicko segment. Whoa. Lots of you tuned in, though, for late night PWT vibes. I like it. So JD, he had this to say. Evolution 2, we started the sicko segment with this. We end it with this because Evolution's got everyone all hot and bothered, right? So JD says, WWE breaks so much. They have an incredible women's division, but would rather sacrifice that women's division for an Evolution show that more creators put into their WWE 2K universe modes. Oh, so I disagree with that, man. Evolution's aside. Here's the problem. If you tout it as it's this big women's event, then you get guys like at the beginning of the segment who are bitching about, fuck, man, why is there an all women's event? Why don't the guys get the same? Blah, blah, blah. So what it is it's sort of like a side quest PLE that they throw on here. It's a women's only. So show up. If you really care, JD, you better be watching that fucking show and streaming head to head against me then. Right? You better be, because otherwise shut the fuck up. Like you better be promoting this shit and fucking giving it your all, reviewing it right after, doing a bonus ep on Sunday. I don't know what your schedule is like, but otherwise, this is why they're doing it this way. The women got to show up and show out. And I got to be honest, man, what makes this any less side questy than Night of Champions or whatever the fuck? Like, yeah, there's a billion PLEs every year now. And even in NXT, they fit them in as like TV specials now in between the bigger events because there's so many. And so, yeah, Evolution's just got to happen at some point. And they do have a great women's division. And if this show exceeds expectations, then that's because the women's division is so great. So I just want to say that, man, this gives them a chance to shine. But anyways, JD says, stop diluting your product for greed. And because you have this weird infatuation with thinking you're taken away from AEW All In. It's fucking sad. Nobody's watching that putrid NXT show over All In. I think Evolution's on Sunday, so it's not even head to head. But if you're talking about Great American Bash, I mean, yeah, I've said the same thing. Like, stop focusing so much on AEW. Like, I would just ignore what they're doing. But at the same token, they always do Great American Bash. So when were they going to do it? Like, this makes it more exciting. I don't even really know, like, nobody's watching NXT over All In. I'm pretty sure a bunch of people are gonna, JD, and that's the point, and that's why they're doing this, because they pull shitloads of people away from AEW shows now, and those bald assholes really, really want to fucking take out Tony Khan. Like, I think they want to WCW it the way Vince, like, that would be Triple H's first victim, especially because Tony Khan talked shit after WWE was, like, having Jericho on the Stone Cold thing, and reaching out and going, hey, Roman wants Moxley in the Rumble, and having Sami Zayn bring up AEW, right? Oh, DX took a pot shot. Yeah, DX wiped their ass with the fucking Canadian flag and took pot shots at WWF commissioner and shit all over them too. Like, that's what DX does. So it's like, fucking try watching wrestling for once, JD's like, the company has forgot to book television in such a rapid pace that it's fucking scary. Evolution should not be happening this coming weekend and should have proper build and a weekend to itself. Yeah, but JD, if it flops, see, you're not thinking business-wise, buddy. That's the problem. If it flops, then it flops on its own. And then everyone goes, look, see, then your ass will be there. What the fuck is the Momo? What is that, like a fucking cocktail? Oh. No, but you'll be yelling about women's wrestling doesn't fucking draw, you know, but they're doing it on this weekend. And so it has sort of a built-in, like what you're saying, no one's watching this over whatever. Now, I'm not saying WWE is going to use that as an excuse, but they want all the hype. They want to take the hype. Like, don't you get it, man? It's all about news cycles, okay? So they want to take the hype, like whatever happens at All In, they want to blow that away that night with Goldberg winning the title and then a Seth cash-in. And then they want to blow everyone away. Maybe not even blow them away, but just they want the news the next day. They want their Goldberg shit and then whatever happens at Evolution to drown out by Monday the All In stuff. So that by Wednesday, it's like, okay, let's see what they have to, like, you know what I mean? They're just trying to drown out the news cycle. And yes, they are competing. Why? Because they're showing that they're competing. They want to compete. Okay. The Harlem Globetrotters still play the fucking, what are they called? The Washington Generals or whatever they're called, right? They still play them every year, or they still go on tour and play those guys. They know they're going to whoop their ass. They still go and fucking play them. So it is what it is. And, shout out JD. At least he's got a hot take. And notice he didn't say Saturday night's main event because he knows good and goddamn well lots of people would rather watch Orton and Drew and fucking Goldberg and Gunther over whatever All In has to offer. So it's weird. But that, ladies and gentlemen, was an extra long It's Saturday Night Sicko. And Sicko's like,